Hey everybody, welcome back to Steve's Garage for another edition of What the Hell's Happening Now. So I hope everyone's having a great day. It is beautiful here. It's springtime, middle of March. We had St. Patty's Day last night, and no, I am not hungover. Anyway, if you saw us last time, we were putting in this roof piece here, a little patch. My buddy Ed gave me a planishing hammer, which I'll show you. I said gave, but he lent me a planisher right here. It's a little planishing hammer. You put on a stand, but I ran it in here and I was able to get a lot out of this roof. I cleaned it up a lot. So I'm really happy with the way that turned out. Patched this piece in. I have all kinds of structure in here, so I couldn't use the planisher over here, but I think I'm good enough where, with some handwork, I can, get what I can with it. And then obviously we're going to go to filler. And that's just the way it goes. So I also took and finished welding these doors in, this window section. I ground some stuff down here. So as you can see, we're slowly picking at it, coming a little at a time, and that's that. Before we get rolling, I want to tell you all, thank you again. Great comments. I'm telling you, I'm the lucky guy. I get all good comments from everybody. You're enjoying the channel. You like the way that I go about my work here. And as I've said from the very beginning, I'm a hobbyist. I'm retired. This is what I do. But I didn't do it all my life. I was a carpenter my entire life and built new homes and additions and cabinet maker. And we did, you name it, we did all kinds of great work in wood. And I was itching to, get into car stuff. I've been into cars for years, had a bunch of different ones. And this is my third car that I'm renovating or changing from something it wasn't. So my idea is to buy a car cheap, do all your own labor, because the sweat equity is where it's at. If you had this car into a shop, I'll have, probably, I don't know, I'll probably have a couple thousand hours in it by the time I'm done. And take a couple thousand hours at $100, there's a couple $100,000. So it adds up fast. So anyway, there you have it. So thanks again for coming back and joining me. And let's take a look at what we've done. And hey, I've been cheating on you. I have done a little work without you. And but that's the way it is. I got to keep moving. So as you can see, I've got a piece of steel on the top here. And what I've done was I made a pattern of the hole that was there. And there's my detailed hieroglyphics to pattern that. And then I rounded the corners on it here, as you can see. And all I did was I rolled it through this way and I rolled it through this way on my roller. So what we're going to do today is I'm going to take that off and I'm going to shrink around the edges. So you can see how we're oil canned here, oil canned up here. And I'm going to shrink all these edges to try to get this to be in a curved shape. You know what I mean? So easier to see than to explain, I think, with this one. Also made some room, got rid of my tractor. I think we're not going to get any snow again this year, but that could be, I could have just jinxed myself. I'll probably get a 14 feet in the next week. But it's good to have some room on the dance floor here. So as you can see outside, it is absolute gorgeous day. It is, it's in the upper 50s today. It's going to be heading towards 70 tomorrow. And that is the weather we like to see. I think all of us. So if you are lucky enough to live in a warm climate, well, boo-hoo to you. Us New Englanders are suffering through it. But hey, you know what? They keep talking about this global warming, and I don't know. It seems to be working out so far. I know all the naturalists to be going, no, we don't like global warming. But it is what it is, man. I do what I can not to warm up the climate. So I don't know how we do that, but that's a whole different science that I don't understand. So I hope you're working on your projects. I did, you know, I think almost every video I get somebody that has to tell me what they're working on, and I love that. You know, thank you for that. I like to share it with everyone else. There's one guy saying he's working on a 32 Ford, and of course, as you all know, the 32 Ford is the holy grail in the car collectors. What I'm trying to say, as far as value goes for the old Fords, the 32 is the most sought after because that is the first car that had the Henry Ford V8 in it. So, and that's those wonderful flatheads that we all love so much. Especially me, I just love the flathead engine. It's just when you see them idling, they're just a beautiful, beautiful thing when they're idling. They're just gorgeous. They sound good. They don't make a lot of noise, and they just purr. A little low, kind of throaty sound to them. So, I guess before we get rolling, not what I wanted to have happen, but looks like it's okay. So, let's get set up on this thing here. Again, we're on the stretcher. I'm checking the light out. I think I'm gonna have to shut that door, guys. It just sends a lot of light in that works against the camera. You know what I'm saying? As nice as it is, and I want to keep it open, but it's all for you, Damien. It's all for you. That's my Omen movie reference for all of you guys. So I did manage to get a little zinger in there when it fell off the hood. But you know, this is what happens. Stuff happens. So we'll take and see if we can flatten that back out. So I'll do it with a clamp. That worked like a freaking champ. Perfect. Remember, kids, don't hit your fingers. All right. Let's see how this debacle will work. We'll go from there. I figured out my tripod issue. I was telling you guys I had a tripod issue, but as it turns out, it had a loose screw. A little like me. So I've tightened that sucker up and it works good. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to run a 1-inch line around for a little reference point. And I'm not measuring, I'm just using my eye. You know, you don't have to, something like this, you don't have to get the micrometer out. I literally watched a show where a guy had a I don't know what it was. It was like a Serret micrometer. I'm like, seriously, dude, a micrometer? But whatever, it is what it is. I think when all is said and done, you know, when you're building these things for yourself, that people are going to come by and see it and be like, that's nice, and keep on walking. No one's going to be out there with a micrometer. But that's just me. All right, so now we've got our line drawn. We've drawn the line. Ogre, I think I said ogre, right? Trying not to swear, but you know how it goes. All right, I think I'm going to be in the shot. We'll see. Oh, you know what I want to do? I'm going to set up a helping hand today. This here is a little stand for when you're running boards through a saw. You're looking for a little, that third arm I'm always talking about. And this thing's perfect right here. We'll see if that works for us. All right. Let's give it a shot. Getting all. All right. First shot out of the barn. You can tell I didn't practice. Let's try that. So I put the 1-inch mark on there to give me some consistency. I tell you what, I guess it's not going to work. That's too bad, because I thought it was going to, but it's not. So it's going to give us the old wrestling moves. So I hope any of you Irish had a good St. Paddy's Day yesterday. Didn't wind up in the paddy wagon. Wrong kind of bars where those fellas hang out. You get what I'm saying? I think it'd be about a foot longer. One can't rush perfection. And of course, we're not reaching for that. Hang in there. Don't fast forward. We're almost there. Whew, that's a pain in the butt. So you want to build cars. Almost. Hang in there. Go get a soda. We got a couple minutes. Last corner. Almost. Another foot. I know. Get your popcorn. Get the Jiffy Pop going. This reminds me of when I put the wire along my fence, because we got 3 lamp posts, and I put it in by splitting the ground with a shovel and going 130 feet, and so for 130 feet I had to dig, slice the ground, pry it back. And I thought, no big deal. Took me half a day. So the next day, I felt like I had run a marathon. My calves were killing me. Whew! I think we got that coming tomorrow. So I've got to measure and figure out which end is which. So 41, 38.5. So that is front. Front. Okay, I hope you all enjoyed that. I see you laughing in your chairs. Oh man, I didn't move it for Shinola. Let's see what we're looking at. Whoo! Doctor says, do you get any exercise? Oh yeah, I work on my cars. Oh, you should be running marathons and jumping jacks and chasing down criminals. I get screwed. Come work with me for a day and see how you feel. Ooh, doggy. I'll tell you what, that one time around, made some movement. But the problem is, all right, I gotta crank it down just to see what's going on. As Marvin Gaye would say, what's going on? I promise I won't sing for you today. Maybe not. I bought these screws, and I'll tell you what, they don't work that good. I'll tell you something, for once around, that ain't too shabby, but now these roofs had that canvas section in them, you know what I mean? And we did review that, and we did talk about that, I think. But the canvas roofs, actually I didn't talk to you guys about it, I talked to my brother about it. The canvas roofs were used because Henry Ford didn't have the pressing machine to press big roofs until later on. So the Dodge brothers had pressing machines to press these big roofs. But if you look inside here, there's a seam down here. There's a seam here. I shortened this, but in the actual roof line, if you put that 21 inches back, just lengthen this section here. There's a seam and a seam, and I don't have a light on me. This might be one piece up here. They press this, press this, press this. So that's 1, 2, 3, 6. And then the window was its own pressing. So there were 7 press forms. And then they put the canvas in the middle. And I would imagine back then, if they put an 8th, putting this in would give them an 8th seam, but, all around it would have been like 12 feet. So that all would have had to been welded, leaded, painted, So I'm sure in Henry Ford's eyes, he was notorious for, let's save a few bucks here and there. And can't blame anybody for that, I guess. All right, now you see that one trip around, really, I'm surprised how much that did, because when you saw the beginning of the film, we were really oil canned up here, over here. So that just that one time around did a ton. And it picked that center up. So by me rolling it this way and rolling it that way, I moved the steel, gave it a direction. And then by shrinking these outer edges, you're pushing that center uphill. So I can put my, I'm going to go around this one more time, not with you watching because you don't need to see that again. And I don't want to do it again in front of you. And that should push this roof up a little bit. As far as bow, let's see what we got. Where'd my ladder go? Hold on now, fellas. I'm going to pick this up so you can see what's going on here. Whoo! Oy. So there is, a little bit of bow, but not much. And that's pretty flat. So I think by going around it one more time, I don't want to go too far and then have this thing, cupped on the ends. But, these had the flat roofs on them. It needs a little, some more bow in it. But maybe what we'll do is we'll do some planishing and see what that does for it. But anyway, as you can tell, one trip around, I can't believe how much it actually did move. I didn't feel like I was doing much, but it obviously did its thing. So take a rock around the wild side. And so this was our side, if you remember how bad that was, but we're getting there. We're slowly pulling this thing together. And that's that. This side here, you can see where this is low in here. So this is probably high right there. So again, a ton to work with. A bunch of stuff to do. So let's see if we can get the planisher to move it a little bit. We'll try that. Get set up here. So yeah, that's the story of the 6-7 piece roof line. Yeah, I think Henry Ford went for, the most reasonable, cost-effective way, right? So that's that. All right. I don't think I hooked my air up. Always something. I had a principal one time when I was a kid in school. Literally said to me, you're really going to grow up to be something. And I said, well, thanks. I always wanted to be something. And I said, does that mean I'm going to grow up to be nothing? And well, I got 3 detentions. But so don't make fun of the principal. put that on and try it again. Don't go too fast. As my old friend Albano Ferreira used to say, Steve, too much or no good. And that's the truth. Put some screws in that. Fit that. Got to get another driver. Next size up. So, stretching, shrinking, rolling, planishing, whatever it takes, right? I'm changing my screws out for something a little better bite to it, because these ones I just bought, literally, I won't tell you where, it doesn't matter, they just don't seem to work well. Another disappointing purchase. Oh, go figure. Welcome to the shit show. Oh, I mean sugar. Swore again, sorry. Oh, look at that, laying down good now. So I used the smallest radius I could on that roof, because I don't want to create new problems. We all know how that goes. What do we say? Every action has an equal and opposite reaction, Sir Isaac Newton. Taking a nap under a tree and an apple falls on his head. Rest is history. Either way, they just kind of strip. So, a little more fiddle fussing around, and we're going to wind up cutting and butting that roof line in. When I say cut and butt, I mean cut it and drop it in and weld it flush. Now I've got a shape issue here, so I've got to take a look at that other side, pattern it, and see what's going on here. I think I do have a pattern around, by the by. Here we go. So that's pretty close. I put that right in line with that. That's close enough for government work right there. That'll tell us where we're at. Kitty cat. So yeah, we're not too bad. I mean, that could just be the steel, or this side has to come over, because this is where we got hit. So this may have to come over a little bit, which will drop this down, but I don't want to go down. So it may just be the steel itself. I mean, you know, these old things were not symmetrical. They put together 6 pieces of steel. I mean, it looks pretty darn good from the back. You know, if you go right here, looks pretty good. So I don't think I'm going to worry about that too much. Because if you do, it'll make you crazy, and that's not what we want. We want to enjoy what we're doing, get through it, get to a car show, have a cup of coffee and a bag of popcorn, call it a day. Hey, nothing 5 gallons of Bondo can't straighten out. We'll just dip it right in and pull it out and smooth it out. Make a car. Kidding, I can see you guys rolling your eyes now. So let's see if we had any movement. I barely had a curve on that planisher. I didn't go for long, but it definitely moved it quite a bit. We didn't have that at all. It was pretty much dead flat. So, you know, and again, I don't want to go in here from this side too. You can see we've got a nice movement now. So it doesn't take a lot. There it is there. You can see it from the camera, right? You see that right down? You're looking right there. Brilliant. I love when a plan comes together. Like I say about car building, it's better to be lucky than good. And we just got lucky. So I think, you know, I got a high spot here. I just knocked down a little bit. That will get this where it needs to go, because that's where we've got a butt seam. And I think we're pretty good right there. Right there. A lot of work in that little sucker. It's kind of, I'm thinking about it. I'm letting it marinate in my brain cells. I think it looks pretty good. Pretty darn good. I don't say so myself. So I think just maybe a tiny bit more with the planisher. Bolt all this into place and then go around it with the cutter, or better yet, probably just cut it right in place and not even move it, and go all the way around it and tack as I go. You'll get, you know, so much done, tack it in place, and that will probably do it. But I think for right now, I'm going to take this back corner down. I mean, it doesn't look, maybe it does to you on the camera, but right here, you gotta cut through that and drop it down just a hair. And that's what we're gonna do right now, before your very eyes. You know, when you look at that, it's wrapped over that pretty good. Draped over. Let me look at one more thing, guys. One more thing. See, like I've said many times, we're trying to work these things out, you know, even while we're on the camera here. And so let me get a block. It's hard to put a level on a curved surface, but this will give me my edge height anyway. So what I'm doing is putting a level on here. I'll bring it back so you can see it. Level the camera because that'll give you a odd perspective too. So it's kind of hard to do, but if I take my measure up from the gunnel here, so if that goes straight down, that's like 3 3/8-ish. But this may not tell us anything, tell you the truth, because we're not. And that's 3. But if I move this way a little bit, you know what I mean? So, you know, now it's like 3 1/4, and I'm sure the other side's 3 1/4. So I guess that's really not telling us anything because that's 3 1/4 now. But I'm just trying to see, I guess the straight line's giving me a visual of that curve. And, you know, and like I said, from back here where you guys are, it's, it looks pretty good. So I don't know what the hell to do. But I know that that metal doesn't fit on the other side. So I think by taking a little bit out of that line and knocking that down might help us out a little bit. So let's try that. All we can do is go in the opposite direction. All right, let me get my gloves. Tools of destruction. Yeah, I was talking to the local Ford Model A club. They called me and they're coming in April 12th, which is like 4 weeks from now. And they want to see what we're doing here. It's going to be a destination for their road trip, so I'm looking forward to that. So I'm thinking that that's going to do a lot for what we're shooting for here. Because again, this is smashed side over here. So when you look at that, it's bringing us right down where we want to be. So I'm going to run with that. How I'm going to pull that down, I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get it by hand or not. Let's take a BFH. We all know what that is. You don't need to be schooled in that. What I need is a way to drag that down. Son of a gun. Let's hold on one second. All right, so I jacked it down. So we're going to go for overkill, and hopefully when we release the spring, it goes back to where we want it. Now, will that work? I don't know. But we shall see. Now I need a blade. A tool. There we go. We got to relieve that a little bit. Turn your gas off. Just so you know, it's almost 4:30 on a Tuesday afternoon. All right, so let's see if we had success or failure. No such thing as failure, is there? Oh, ho, 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 ho. Now look at that, huh? Come on. I'm taking it. Taking it. I'm thinking. I don't know. Might be a little heavy on that corner right there. But hard to tell when you have smashed stuff. But it laid the roof down, and I think that's the most important part. So the metal's not lying. You know what I mean? It's telling us it wants to go down. We brought it down. So again, we're almost at an hour, guys. It never comes easy. You got to work it in. I think that looks pretty darn good for today. Open up the garage. Show you this beautiful day we got going out here. Look at that, huh? Nice and sunny. End our day. Here's home sweet home, the old shop. Got my homemade gas pumps. Made those a long time ago. Put them out front. That one's made out of an old air compressor. This one I just pieced together from, there's a smoker on the bottom, an old smoker. Made the middle section. Made this from swing set parts and bought the little top here. But hey, use your imagination. You know, people come here and say, where'd you get the old gas pumps? I go, I made them. I go, no way. So a little imagination, some parts, I made those for next to nothing, honestly. So you can do it. You know, you want to get into this, get into it. Just, you know, jump right in. That's all I can tell you. It's a lot of fun. And next thing you know, you're building stuff like this. So thanks for coming along on today's roof journey. The roof, I think, is coming right along. Still got some tweaking to do. I think I got to go one more shrink around, do a little more planishing in the center, get a little more bulb to it, not much. I don't want to go crazy because you go too much, you'll never come back from that. You have to make it all over. So again, you have to finesse them in, you know what I mean? So it's like catching fish. Get it on the end of that line and get that lure and just get that fish to love it. So that's all you can do. So hey, I hope you're enjoying your projects. No matter what you're doing, I hope you're having a good time. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. Come on back next time and we will get into more trouble. All right? Have a great day, everybody. See you soon.